Hi there, good afternoon. How's it going? Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025, currently 63 degrees Fahrenheit. That is just 17 degrees Celsius. So cooling down a bit today compared to yesterday when it was sunnier and warmer. So this weather is actually a little bit unexpected because when I had checked the forecast 4 or 5 days ago before flying to South Korea, then it was showing no clouds, pure sunshine for the next like 8 days, but the weather changes like the weather. So anyways, I came here in part to get some cooler temperatures after spending time in tropical, humid places. So I just flew here to Busan, the second largest city in South Korea. Landed yesterday morning coming from India. And so this is my second time to South Korea. I was last here back in 2018, in which I went to Seoul, of course, the capital and largest city, did a day trip to the DMZ, demilitarized zone, the border between South Korea and North Korea, and then flew to Jeju Island for just a couple of days. So I only spent 6-7 days, something like that, in South Korea that time. And so it's good to be back. It is a country that I am not very well acquainted with, but it has a whole lot of advantages, including the incredible price of this hotel room and rooms in general. So this room is 50,000 South Korean won, which might sound like a lot, but that is $35 US or about 30 euros for quite a nice, spacious room in a good location, massive TV, which I won't make use of. I just use my laptop. And then here is the attached bathroom, toilet, a high-tech toilet, which I will get to further in a second, and then the sink and bathtub and shower. So I will show all that a little bit more after a little more explanation. So $35 for this room. You can find rooms even cheaper, $25, maybe a little bit less than that. So it is really a mystery to me why South Korea is so cheap when it is very comparable to Japan. I've spent 2 months in Japan on 2 different trips, and so seen quite a bit more of Japan, and it feels very similar as far as the infrastructure, the streets. It's very clean, good public transportation. Haven't taken a train yet, I don't think, in South Korea. Likely I will on this trip. I have a flight booked out of Seoul to Hiroshima, Japan in 9 days from now, but that's feeling like it might be a bit too soon. We shall see, but I could seriously imagine spending a little more time here, especially considering the prices. So the taxi from the airport yesterday ended up being just $9 for, well, it got a little confusing because it turned out we were headed in the wrong direction and had to get that straightened out. But it wasn't too far of a taxi ride, but 15 to 20 minutes for $9, that is a great price. And so I haven't had any real meals yet. I went to a fast food hamburger place last night, got a burger and fries. It was like $9, I think, so kind of typical price for that. But I think that the more typical Korean food will be cheaper than it would be in the West, certainly Europe, etc. So prices are amazing for a very highly developed, well-organized, and very clean, safe country. People have been really friendly and helpful. The receptionist at this hotel here speaks quite good English, and so it is looking all around like a great country to see more of. So let's get further into the room tour here. So nice comfy double bed, fast Wi-Fi. And then if you're curious about the sockets, there you go. It is multiple different options there. I guess I actually don't need to be using my socket adapter since it looks like it has US plug included there, but I'm not sure if that is necessarily the case everywhere else. Maybe sometimes there is a more limited Korean plug. I think they might use the two-pronged European and Indian plug because that was what was downstairs in the lounge on the extension cord. So maybe that is the typical one, and here at this hotel they're accommodating foreign travelers. So here you have a computer, which I have no idea if it works, how to use it, but I have absolutely no use for it. And then luckily we have a fridge. And so I will show again the food that I bought yesterday. So we got here Pocari Sweat. I'm not sure where it is from. I will put it down below, but definitely from this area, maybe Japanese. But it is really good. It is like for, you know, hiking and stuff, for rehydrating. It is a simple taste, subtly sweet, and then it has added, I guess, like potassium or something like that. And then some milk. These are little cheese sticks, a couple of hard-boiled eggs. Those 2 bottles of water came in the fridge. Another bottle of water that I bought yesterday. And then I will show again what I got in the bag here. So I had another one of these pastries for breakfast this morning. It was really good. And then I had another one of these yesterday morning, and this was amazingly tasty. So it is a custard cream pastry, and it wasn't just the cream that was tasty, but the outside part as well had a very unique, kind of subtle, but really, really good flavor to it. And then we got some crackers, so that's to go with the cheese. Haven't tried that yet. This, I guess, is tuna or some kind of canned fish. Haven't opened up that yet. And then here we have luncheon meat. Probably not great, kind of like Spam or something, but figured have some real protein there. And then pistachios, which are, you know, pistachios are pistachios, but they aren't salted. Not sure if they're roasted. I think they aren't roasted either. And so they're a little plain tasting. They don't have that nice salt zing to it. And then some cookies and some other cookies. And so all of this, plus what I ate already yesterday and today, which was another one of these, and then hard-boiled eggs, but I bought some more. Anyways, it ended up being $27 for all of that. All right, so one thing that I wanted to show here, which is not especially useful to most of you, but here I have a cup of tea. This is not regular tea. This is Tulsi tea, which tastes a lot like green tea, but it has 0 caffeine in it. It isn't at all green tea. It is Tulsi herb, which is, I guess, Indian, maybe other parts of South Asia, but I don't have caffeine at all. I have a very, very strong reaction to caffeine that is unpleasant, like heart beating hard and just feel really jittery and stuff. And so I've been avoiding caffeine for like more than a decade. And so I discovered this in India, and it is a really good cleanser for the system and something, you know, warm in the morning, similar to tea. And then what I really wanted to show is this thing, which is a way to heat up your hot water. And it is so brilliant because it is tiny, very easy to travel with. They're super cheap in India, $1. I think it was 100 or 120 rupees, so $1, $1.50 or so. And then you just plug that in, that thing gets hot quick, and heats it up in about a minute or so. But it is so great to have, to always be able to have a hot beverage. Now, they do actually have a pot up here. And while I'm showing what's up here, and so that was down on the desk there, but I put it out of the way because I'm not going to use it. And then there was something else. So this thing seems to be let's see if I can manage to capture the top of it. Anyways, it's like an emergency escape wire, apparently. So there's this weird contraption here, and then that box was sitting right here. So I don't know, but it seemed like maybe that goes along with this thing, and you tie the wire to that, and then you escape out the window. So I'm very curious if that is in all of the rooms, or for some reason was here because of some job related to the construction, or I don't know what, but maybe it's just like the code for the hotels is they have to have an escape option in case of a fire or something. I'm not sure, but kind of bizarre. And then this is how you open the window. That opens out, and then that closes it. And so that is the only window. This is just the wall. And so there were a few things that it took a little while to figure out, including the lights. So here it says bath 1, bath 2, but those do not work. See, there it lights up, but nothing happens. So I couldn't figure out how to turn on these lights for a little while. There are these switches over here. And so let's go ahead and demonstrate. Off, off, off. And so that says light 4. Here again it says bath 1 and bath 2. When you press that, then both of them light up. And so those are connected, but they weren't working. And so I thought, dang, lights in the bathroom are out, apparently. And then finally I tried the light 4, and that one works for there. So that might be a little bit of a rewiring mistake or something like that. But anyways, figure that out. And then the other thing was the air conditioning. It was on, so every time I come in, so there's this little entry room, automatic light there, key goes in there. So I take it out, take the key with me, come back, put it in there, and then it turns on all of the lights and the AC. And so the AC was going yesterday, and it wasn't too cold, but eventually I realized that I didn't want it on and was trying to figure out how to turn it off. And so there's this thing here which lights up, and that seemed to be the AC, but it did not work. So finally I went down to reception and asked them, and they said it is on the remote control. So look at how many buttons there are on this remote control. So this is for the TV, but it also happens to be the on-off for the AC. And so he said, press this button here. And so that works. And then I assume those other buttons are other functions of the AC, but it's all in Korean, so not sure, but don't need that anyways. And then when it comes to the toilet, so you can see it's one of these high-tech toilets with lights and buttons. So this has been my strategy for dealing with the toilets in Japan when I've been there, which is I find where it is plugged in, which is there, and I unplug it because I don't like the weird noises. I don't know what's going to happen, but all that I care about is that it flushes. And so that has worked in Japan, the 2 months that I've been there. just unplug it, and then I don't have to wonder if I'm going to press the wrong button or whatever. And then if I'm in a public place or whatever, then I plug it back in. But I just leave it unplugged in my hotel until I leave. And so I try that here, but then it turns out that you do actually have to press a button to flush. And so it is that button right there, and then I'm not dealing with any of the other stuff. And then nice sink and big mirror, and then the bath and shower room. So you have a big bath, and when I booked it, it said deluxe room with bath. So I guess they have other rooms without the bath that might be cheaper, but the price was the same. It was like a free upgrade thing. So I went with that. And then there is the shower there going down onto the floor there. And then that thing right there, I was trying to figure out how to use at first and could not get the water to go on. Not sure if it's broken or if I'm not using it properly or whatever, but anyways, doesn't matter. Really awesome, good, strong, hot shower there. And then there you got shampoo, conditioner, and shower gel. And so there you can see that thing there. Same thing as is right here. It looks like it's probably an emergency type of a thing. And so I use Google Translate, and sure enough, it says use only in case of emergency. And then also over here, this I thought was going to be an emergency thing as well. It says they're 24. So I thought like 24-hour emergency call button or something like that. But then I use Google Translate on that as well. And no, it is 24-hour sports massage. I guess you can get a massage in your room maybe. So interesting. I wonder how much massages are. But anyways, there you go. Full tour of the room here. So I forgot to mention, but it is now 4:19. Got a minute? In the afternoon. And so I've been busy editing my last video, was hoping that I might get that done in time to get out and film more today, but 4:19 and sun is already going down because here it is early November and we are a long ways north, and so not enough light, and I'm still working on this video here, so not going to film any more today. So that is partly why I decided to go ahead and make this room tour video. So I had initially booked 3 nights here, added a 4th night today, so I have 2 more full days. I really like the looks of this city. I haven't seen very much at all other than just around here. It's very quiet around here, but this is not exactly the center of the city. I'm sure that it will be a bit more busy once I get more into the downtown area. Also being November, then it's going to be quieter, I'm sure, probably in summer, more tourists. But yesterday was Sunday, and so I was walking around as I showed in my last video, and it was just super, super quiet, like almost ghost town. I guess partly because it was Sunday, but I guess maybe also it's just generally quiet here because I walked down to the store to get those hard-boiled eggs, and it was still pretty quiet. But yesterday evening I went out to find the burger place, and it was quite happening. Just a block away from here is the metro station and a happening area of lots of restaurants, tons of neon signs, and there were quite a few people, lots of young people around. So that was good to see a bit of liveliness there. So really looking forward to seeing more of this city. Also, I wanted to get out of here today to just get more of a taste of it. 2 days now and haven't seen hardly anything, but I will in the coming days. I think it is going to be a really interesting and fun city to explore. So there you go. That is all for now. More coming from Busan, South Korea. See ya.